from West Hollywood. It's the talk show everybody's talking about. Born to Kibitz! With your host, he's the man who would be king, the man with one red shoe, the man who shot Liberty Valance. Please welcome Kibitz.
Well, hello, and welcome to Born to Kibitz. I'm your host, Corky Bernstein, and thank you so much for joining us, ladies and gentlemen, and being part of our cable TV family. We love you so much. And thank you for all your letters, your faxes, your Instagrams, your tweets. Here's a letter from a Restless McCheesy who writes, Dear Corky, I have a friend named Ruthie who looks like a 200-pound prairie dog in a sundress. Here's pic, and she's always complaining about her weight. I'm too fat, she says, or I wish I wasn't so fat. So finally I said to her, well, why don't you lose some weight? And she looked at me and said, what are you saying, I'm fat? Help! What's a guy supposed to do? Love your show. Restless. It's a no-win situation. You know, you can't say, hey, Ruthie, you're not fat. Yeah, but it might be cheaper to ship yourself by rail instead of 3 seats on Delta. That would be terrible. Just say, Ruthie, you're perfect just as is. Did I just hear a rim shot? Wait a second, that was a rim shot. You know what that means, ladies and gentlemen? Time for rim shot news. And thank you, Restless McCheesy. GOP Congressman Trey Gowdy caught freshening breath with Hitler Pez dispenser. Hit by inflation, 99-cent stores changed name to $1.35. NASA says new Earth-sized planets could support mutant life forms. Trump greenlights architectural plans for his presidential library. Ryan Gosling loses Best Actor, but his sister walks away with 2 Golden Globes. And welcome back to Born to Kibitz. If you're just joining us, ladies and gentlemen, I'm your host, Corky Bernstein. And you know, each year we like to dedicate a half-hour show to raise public awareness on pressing public issues. And this year we thought, you know, what issue is more pressing than making the public aware of that incurable disease that robs us of our memories and affects 1 out of 6 Americans than Alzheimer's disease. And we have with us today the president of the NAF Foundation, and he's here right now, Stan Blander.
Hello.
Welcome to Born to Kibitz.
Oh, thank you very much.
Now I know
very pleased.
Yeah, you've been crazy busy because we tried to get you last year, and I think the year before, but then you were on the board of the Psoriasis Foundation.
Done your homework.
Yeah.
Wow.
And then we called again.
Psoriasis starts with a P.
That's right. That's a tough one to spell. But anyway, you're here with us now.
I am.
And it's a pleasure to have you on the show to talk about this.
I'm so grateful for you to have me here.
Yeah.
Because we're trying to get the word out, and you know.
Well, you know what? Because people have a general misconception of what Alzheimer's disease is because they think, you know, it's dementia. They confuse it with dementia, or they think it's strictly for old people who forget things, and it's not that at all. And I'd like you to clarify to our viewing audience just exactly what AD is. Can you enlighten us on that?
Certainly. AD?
That's,
what is that?
Oh, okay. Well, it's short for Alzheimer's disease.
Oh, absolutely.
Oh, before that I said, but you're the president.
President of NAF, yes.
Now tell us what that stands for as well.
What's that?
Tell us the NAF.
Oh, the American Alzheimer's Association.
The American Alzheimer's Association?
Right.
That would be AAF, wouldn't it? What is the NAF part?
The
National?
the Association of American Alzheimer's.
Oh, okay. All right.
That's what
I thought it was National Alzheimer's Foundation, but
that's it.
Oh.
That's it. That's it.
Oh, good.
National
I got that.
Alzheimer's Foundation. That's it.
I got it.
That's it. I've been the president for about a year and a half.
Right.
I was moved in. I became president when Lyle Comstock was fired.
Okay.
He was fired about 2 years ago.
Right.
And it was messy, but
Yeah. Well, they obviously needed a replacement.
so I received last year a letter from President Obama,
Uh-huh.
handwritten.
Wow.
Yeah.
That's impressive.
And the letter didn't say, "Dear Mr. Blander, dear Naff,
Stan.
dear Stan."
Oh, a personal one-on-one.
Handwritten. I was told that if I wanted to auction this letter off, seriously, I was told that it could be worth like over $100,000 because it's not typed, it's handwritten. And I was further told that if I handed this letter down to like my great-grandchildren, one day it could be worth millions,
It could grow.
especially if he's the only African-American president we ever have. So you never know. Anyway, I brought the letter.
Oh, my gosh.
Yeah, I want you to see it.
Do you have it on your person?
I do. I
You
only
wanna
show
read it to us now?
I only show it on space. Well, I don't want to read it. I just want to show you the letter.
I'd love to see it.
But I don't even like taking it out of the envelope. You know what I mean? It's
Oh,
so,
you gotta take it out.
It's-
My hands are clean. I washed it. Go ahead.
okay, it's the most precious.
Congratulations.
It's the most precious possession
So you don't want to put it on eBay?
I have.
You don't want to put it on eBay?
No, God,
How
no.
are you going to sell it?
No, my great-grandchildren, one day, they said it could be worth millions of dollars. Ah!
Oh, you scared me for a second. I thought you forgot. Oh, no. No. Where is it?
Did you see it?
I didn't see it.
No?
No, my God. Wait, don't panic. Don't panic. Maybe you left it at home.
No, it's always in this envelope.
Do you remember where you last left it?
Oh,
no. Oh,
Well,
Stan.
that's not why I'm here, so.
Oh, I'm so sorry, but
God.
hey, listen, it happens to all of us. I left
No,
my car.
this is the most precious thing I ever owned in my life.
Well, maybe when you get it home, you can fax it to me, and I can email it and put it on the show later.
If it's not in the envelope, I don't know where it would be, Cookie. That's the problem, you know?
And what an amazing guest I have, ladies and gentlemen. I met him at a restaurant in West Hollywood, Dan Tana's to be specific, and he's a legend. He's a legend in West Hollywood and beyond.
Well, I wouldn't go that far. Corky.
Welcome, ladies and gentlemen, to Clancy the Thunderstorm, professional boxer. What a thrill it is to have you on my show.
Well, it's a pleasure to be here, Corky, really. I just want you to know I haven't been interviewed in quite a while, so I'm a little nervous.
Yeah, don't be nervous.
I'll try and do my best.
Man, you are looking good.
Well, thank
You're
you.
looking tough. You're looking sparring, and you're looking. Now, tell us about how it is that where did we meet?
Dan Tannis.
Right.
I came up to you actually because I told you how much I enjoyed your shows and was wondering why you weren't on public access more frequently.
Right. Well,
I always enjoy your work. And then we started to talk, and the evening went by pretty quick after a few drinks, I must say. Thank you, by the way.
Right.
He bought me drinks. It's very generous, Corky. Thank you. I appreciate that.
Well, that's
I owe you.
No.
I do.
No,
I owe you.
I wanted you on the show.
Well, I appreciate it. I'm glad to be here.
Now, tell us about your distinguished past. How many professional fights did you have, and what kind of weight classification were you in?
Well, there's a lot of weight classes in boxing. There's,
Right.
Your heavyweight, your cruiserweight, your light heavyweight, your middleweight, your welterweight, your lightweight, your featherweight, your bantamweight, your flyweight. I fought as a paperweight. I weighed less than 90 pounds when I was fighting, when I first started.
Okay.
Yeah.
They really have a category like that, paperweight?
I do now.
Okay.
Yeah.
Wow. That's sort of history in itself.
And you asked how many fights did I have? I actually only had one complete professional fight.
Just one?
One fight. I actually was booked for 4, but the first 3 didn't really work out.
Okay.
But the fourth one, it was a very difficult fight. I fought a fella named Rennie Hammerhead Santoni.
Wow.
Yeah, he was a brutal boxer. Good boxer. I was a good boxer too. And you know, from my point of view, I think the fight went too long. It went 8 rounds. It was supposed to go 10. It lasted 8 rounds. But by the 5th round, I was cut up pretty bad.
Yeah.
Yeah. Because, you know, Rennie, he got his nickname Hammerhead because he was always headbutting. And through the first 5 rounds, I got headbutt more than he punched. And he was a vicious puncher too. So I got both his head and the punches. So I was cut up pretty bad by the 5th round. The remaining 3 rounds, we traded punches pretty good.
Right.
But by the end of the 8th round, he was exhausted. I was exhausted, and I don't even remember at the end of the 8th round. But they tell me I was so tired that in the fog of exhaustion, I wandered over to his corner, and I sat down on what I thought was a stool, but it was his outstretched leg, and I broke his leg. So he couldn't answer the bell in the 9th round, and I barely found my way back to my corner, and I couldn't have answered the 9th round either. So they called the fight mercifully. They called it a draw. But it didn't end well for either one of us. He wound up with a broken leg, and I was cut up so bad. I must tell you, my head looked like a big glob of hamburger. I got a picture. I'll show you.
Oh, I would love to see that.
Yeah, this is interesting. It's inside stuff, you know, from the fight game. Now, I must tell your viewers, though, if you have a weak stomach, you should turn away right now because it is pretty gruesome. That's me.
You look like Freddy Krueger.
I know, it's disgusting, isn't it?
That's you?
Yeah, that's me. It took about a year and a half to heal.
Wow.
Yeah, it was a vicious fight.
Let me see that.
Sure. Yeah, sure.
Clancy, if you could see a shot of that for our viewing audience. This is what Clancy looked like after the fight.
Yeah, it was when I had more hair.
You look like
I had more hair.
Like
then.
you're available at Ralph's in the meat department.
Yeah, I look like I'm about 80% lean there.
You really do. Wow.
I never thought of it that way, but it's disgusting in any
That's
event.
where the expression "he looks like hamburger meat" comes from. It's got to be like that.
Well, I don't show
put
that
that
to
away.
everybody, but I feel close to you.
Oh my goodness, huh?
Yeah.
Wow. And so
that was
that was your professional fight. That was your one professional fight.
It won because that was also my last professional fight.
So it was like your first and last fight.
First and last, because I thought, I better get out now while I still have a head.
Yeah. No kidding.
You know what I'm saying?
Did people joke you about? Were there jokes about that when they saw you after, or nicknames about?
I didn't
what
see
you
many
looked like?
people. I stayed at home for. I was 7 weeks in the house. I finally came out for air around the 8th week, but it took a year and a half to heal, really.
So you didn't get teased, or anybody teased you like, "Would you want
I didn't let
onions with
anybody
that,
see
or
me.
do you want
No,
ketchup or
no.
potato
My
salad?"
mother would just look at me and go, "Ugh."
Ooh.
That's all she would do.
Oh,
And then
mothers,
she would
that's a
feed me
heartbreaking
soup.
thing for a mother
It
to
was.
see
It
a
was
son like
terrible
that.
for her.
Yeah.
It was very hard on her.
Now, did you get? You always were you as a kid. I've seen poses of you as a kid.
Oh yeah, that's
Bang, man, the cutest shot.
Yeah, that was a little. What was I like 1 or something? A few months old. Very, very little.
Was that boxing? Is it in your genes? How does that work? Do
Well,
you
my
have genes
my father was a boxer.
Right.
Yeah, he was
okay.
a very successful boxer. In fact, you know, he trained Charlie Chaplin. I think we have a picture of that here.
You know what?
I
I
gave
think
him in the studio there.
Oh,
I left some with the director. So
I would
maybe they'll
love to
bring
see
up that picture.
Yeah.
I don't know
So
how
did
you do
that work? He directed him?
Yeah, he in certain fight scenes. You know, Charlie was always
technical advisor.
Yeah, technical advisor.
Oh,
I can't
okay.
think of those
Yeah,
big words.
Well,
you
you've
know.
been hit hard.
Yes, I have.
But it hasn't affected your recall or your memory because you're pretty sharp in terms of remembering the past. Do you have any problems in that respect? I know a lot of bikers.
I don't. Not to my knowledge.
Okay.
What was the question? I wanted to tell you that I was actually booked for four fights.
Right.
Yeah, but the first fight, I was supposed to fight this kid from India.
Right.
His name was Sanjay the Mongoose Punjab. I remember that. And he came to this country a month early, right? And unfortunately, he loved American food. I think he liked the availability of food more than anything.
Not too
but
much.
He gained 30 pounds,
Oh.
and he couldn't make the weigh-in. So they had to cancel that fight. And the second fight was with, I love this guy. He was a terror. His name was Mike Gravestone Walker.
Wow.
And we were pretty evenly matched. And I took the fight because I thought I could do pretty well against him. Unfortunately, climbing into the ring, I got hung up in the ropes, and I threw myself into the canvas, and it took him 10 minutes to revive me. I knocked myself out just climbing into the ring.
You know, I've seen that shot about you. It sort of became your signature shot after that, where every time you went to a fight, they said that
Someone, that's where he got when the guy lifts up the ropes for the fighters now, that's where that was started, right after that. Because we didn't want that to happen again. Unfortunately, that was the second fight, so that was canceled. The third fight, I was supposed to fight a guy named Dave.
Okay.
I remember his name was Dave.
Okay.
And that was going to be a big fight for me, big audience, big arena. It's not the Olympic Arena in Los Angeles.
Right.
Here. Oh, yeah, it was going to be a big fight. And getting to the ring, I accidentally stepped into the spit bucket.
Oh.
I slipped and broke my ankle, and they had to stop that fight, too. So the first three fights, I didn't even get to fight.
Wow.
Bad luck.
Wow, yeah, sort of
and then I had the fourth fight, and that was rather treacherous.
Yeah.
You saw the picture, and I thought, this is not for me.
But you know what? You've got charisma.
Well, I
You've
appreciate
got
that.
kind of Rocky Balboa, Graziana kind of a thing. Did you ever go on to work in a bar or greet people at a door
I was
in Vegas?
I was a sparring partner for a while.
Right.
Briefly.
I understand you had an interesting sparring partner at one point, didn't you?
Yes, I have a picture of her.
Do we have a picture, I think, of her of Thunder's sparring partner?
Very attractive young man.
And you went to ended up marrying her in Las Vegas, I understand. With
I
the
had to.
Elvis impersonator and the whole thing.
Yes, I did.
But then I heard you got it annolled 3 hours later.
She got it annulled. I begged her not to do it. But,
Okay.
I mean, you can see why. I needed the workout.
Okay.
Frankly. And after that, I went back to school. I studied auto mechanics, and I got a job with American Motors as a test dummy. That's before they had the mechanical ones.
Bang.
Bam, yeah. I was involved in probably 35 accidents, setup accidents, to see how the dummy would fare in the accident. And it was kind of a brutal thing. And they developed airbags because of me.
Wow.
Because I learned early on I would stuff a pillow up into my shirt before I drove into the setup accident.
Right.
And that would somewhat protect me. One of the engineers said, hey, he thought of airbags. So I'm kind of partly responsible for that.
Well, that's good.
Yeah, I felt good about that.
Wow.
Yeah.
Huh. They don't think about that when the people put out of the thing and they take human beings and use them as test bunnies and
well, those were the days then. They didn't have any other way of doing it and getting good feedback.
Yeah.
And I could give them really good feedback.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
But you could have used our guest.
I'm
could have
taking
used our guest to take them to court on our.
What's his name? Bernanke.
Merv Bernanke.
Oh.
He would have got you some dollars. On
Do you
that,
have
as a
his
human
card?
test bunny.
Do you think he's still around? I could
As
get
a
his
human,
card.
yeah, I can get you his card.
Yeah. What was that about bunnies?
No, not a test bunny.
Test
You weren't a
dummy.
test
Oh,
bunny?
Test dummy.
I don't know why I said test bunny.
Maybe you didn't. Maybe I just heard that.
No, I think you said test dummy.
All right.
I
that's
heard you
good.
say bunny.
I know you don't have much time. I don't want to take up too much time from your other
Yeah.
guests.
Is there something you want?
Maybe we could get together some other time and talk.
I'd love to do that.
Lots of stories for you, and I really enjoyed talking to you a whole bunch. You're
Clancy?
something. You're something, Corky.
Thank you so much for being part of our show.
Well, it's
Will
my
you come
pleasure.
back and join us again?
Yeah,
For more
absolutely.
stories?
Sure, yeah.
For more tales of the tape, ladies and gentlemen. And we'll be back after this word, so stick around. And we're back Welcome to Born to Kibitz. I'm your host, Corky Bernstein. And West Hollywood is the creative city. We all know that. And I met one of the most creative people in this wonderful 1.2 square mile city of ours at the West Hollywood Book Fair. She had her own tent. She was the solo participant selling her book right away. I thought that was brave, courageous, getting out there, pushing her art, pushing her creativity. And she's here with us today, ladies and gentlemen, the one and only Lucille.
Hello, are we on?
I'm so thrilled to have you on the show.
It's good to be. Are we on the TV?
We're on TV now, huh?
The real TV. Is it
Yeah.
on? Is it on? It's on.
Yeah.
Okay. Is
And
my
you
mom
look good.
gonna see this?
Your mom?
Is she
Sure.
gonna see this?
We can get a CD for you. We can get a
I
CD
don't
for
want her to see it.
No,
we
okay.
We just don't let her see
No,
it. It's
Oh,
our
no,
little
whatever you
secret.
want.
I don't. It was a big deal for me to come all the way to Los Angeles for the show. For the book show.
Now, where are you from originally?
Well, I live in New York now.
Okay.
In an apartment in
Right.
New York. And I grew up I grew up with my nanny, and my parents were on holiday a lot. But in the middle of the Midwest.
Uh-huh.
In the
What kind of
Midwest.
accent is that? You have a...
Well,
sort-
that was actually the accent of my nanny.
Right.
She used a little bit Irish and then the Minnesota.
Oh, okay.
But actually, my family is from Michigan,
Uh-huh.
which has nothing like this sound.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, but you have a distinct accent, that's for sure.
Well, yeah, because I would only listen to her, and she spoke like this.
Oh, okay. So you kind of mimic your...
Well, you learn,
Early
right? We're like,
influences.
we mimic what
And
we
that's
hear,
how that
right?
worked. Yeah.
Like language or,
But you know, now when I saw you at the in the tent,
yeah.
you know, you gave out a certain pathos or thing I felt for your sort of vulnerability. There you are selling your book. But what moved me most about the book was the title of the book. Why don't you share with our viewing audience just exactly why
Wait.
this was so unusual to...
Sure.
Go ahead.
The title is, I'm gonna read it. Now I can buckle my shoe, and maybe so can you. Kind of a guidepost for all those people who, at age 20, they fell on their heads, and then they had to learn how to walk and talk again. And then maybe that person also grew up in the 80s when they were doing a moonwalking move, which really scared me. And then maybe that person's parents were too busy drinking wine from champagne glasses to notice them.
Uh-huh.
That's the title.
Wow. What a fabulous title for a book.
Thank you. Yeah, I did it. Initially, it was just going to be, it was initially just going to be for my therapist, is to my notes. But then I realized that I have this brain injury, and that a lot of people have one too. Maybe 50% of America is brain injured.
Brain dead?
Brain dead, I think it's higher. I think that's higher, actually. That's not a joke. But I think sometimes I'm in the grocery store, and there's like a nothing face, like a face.
Like
a zombie.
pod people?
Like a pod?
They're all over.
What is that?
Invasion of the pod,
Yeah,
the body snatchers, the pod people.
I don't think that's true. Is that
The
true?
Walking Dead.
Oh, that's possible.
Is that what you're
That's
referring
possible. I don't know.
That's everybody.
I don't know. That's kind of everybody.
I mean, that's everybody.
But,
Every
yeah.
once in a while, you're going to see some people that have a spark.
Right.
And that's how I responded to you when I saw you in the booth.
Well, thank you. Well, the thing is that I had printed. I had this, and then my mom loved it, so she had me. I got a computer now in my bedroom.
Right.
And I can print things, so I can print multiple copies. So I made 2 copies. I made one for my doctor, and I made one for my mother. And my mother said, you should put this on the market.
Well, that's fantastic, and that's how you got to the West Hollywood Book Fair.
That is there. I flew out for this, and I brought my assistant because I'm not allowed to walk on my own. And there I am, and I have this.
Now, I see your walker right here. Let's see if we can get a shot of...
I don't want a shot of it. I would prefer it's not in the shot.
Well, I don't want to...
Yeah, no, it's
I
just.
don't want to
But I will
infringe
say
on you,
something.
but
I will say
t-
something about the walker. I will say.
I
something.
don't want people to know that you're disabled, but tell us why you use a walker for...
Oh well, I have ataxia, which is after the
Ataxia?
Ataxia, I have also dry mouth, but it's a separate issue. But yeah, I have ataxia, which means that I have trouble balancing. And so I think I might be one of the only 30-year-old women out there with a walker.
Wow, okay.
But you have to say something, which is in my book, which is that when they make the tennis balls and they use them on the bottom of the walker because you wear the bottoms out really fast, they need to make bitter colors because when you are going to, let's see, for me, I go to very nice tees sometimes.
All right.
And then you do not want to wear green fluorescent tennis balls on your walker.
Listen, you don't have to worry about that in this town because in this town you can get away with anything. Orange tennis balls, day-glow tennis balls, nobody cares.
That's true. That's why
this is where all the
the game in.
This is where the game is.
Women, which I love.
And tell us about you. We have a couple minutes, and I want to let the people know that this book is also a compilation of letters that you've written.
There are some letters because there's.
And I want to show people that you're passionate about, how passionate you feel about issues that most people wouldn't even care about.
Wait, I don't know.
And I was wondering, could you read us a sample of a couple letters that you wrote and give us a little?
Let me see. Well, for example, I think that every letter is a love letter in a way. First of all, so let me read one. This is one that I got from the Postal Service, so I responded. Dear Postal Service, I really like my old zip code 10021, and I'm not happy they are changing the 21 to 75. 21 is a good number. 2 plus 1 is 3, which is not a lonely number. And then I said, please send me 142 stamps so I may inform my friends and associates of the change of address. XO, Mrs. Marshall.
That is good.
It's good because you want to let them know that there's maybe a connection. You never know where a connection comes from.
And you have such a conversational tone about you in your correspondence that brings people in. It's sort of a natural conversation. Give us another
letter.
example.
Do you want a long one or a short one?
How about a short one because we gotta go to commercial break.
This is one. I say this. Dear chicken of the sea, there are not enough sardines in the can. What are you thinking? Counting the fish in the tin is a job I'd be good at. You should take an opportunity to hire people with brain injuries to do that job. Really, I take it personally. I worked in a linen store once for 2 days, but who can fold it fast? A lot of people can count fish. Sincerely, XO, Ms. Marshall.
Wow.
So yeah, but you can talk about serious things and not so serious. Like if the road isn't flat enough, I wrote a letter to the roads commission to say, please flatten the road. And I said, I'm a 30-year-old woman with a walker, and I said, what if I was 108 years old?
Exactly.
What if I was that old? How would you do it? You can't do it.
Lucille?
Is it time to go? I don't want to go.
I want you to come back to the show.
Yeah, is this a
I want
nice
you to take
hand?
care of your
it's
walker.
a nice hand. I like the hand.
I want you to come back.
Oh, is it good?
And I'm looking forward to helping you out with this book sale of yours.
Really?
Hey, you know what they say?
What
if
do
it
they
helps
say?
one person, then
It helps one
it
person.
helps a lot of people. So stay tuned, and we'll see you soon.
Are you dating anyone? No, that was a true question. Are you dating anyone?
That's
Are
sweet.
you on the market?
I don't date my guests, but
Really? Not ever?
if there's an exception, you're the one.
Really?
Yeah.
I live in New York City.
Well, we can
Are we on the air still? Is it on the air? Sorry.
cut it. That's all right.